1. What is cloud computing? A. Computing services offered over the Internet. B. Local computing on personal devices. C. Only storage services provided over the Internet. D. A type of programming language. Two. Which of the following is a key characteristic of cloud computing? A. Fixed pricing model. B. Elasticity. C. Limited scalability. D. Local data storage. 3. What does Azure Automation enable? A. Manual resource deployment. B. Automated management and deployment of Azure resources. C. Monitoring application performance. D. Storing data securely. Four. Which of the following describes the public cloud deployment model? A. Resources are dedicated to a single organization. B. Resources are shared among multiple organizations. C. Resources are hosted on premises. D. Resources are provided by a private provider. Five. What is the primary benefit of cloud scalability? A. Fixed resource allocation. B. Ability to increase or decrease resources based on demand. C. Local data processing. D. High latency for data access. Six. Which of the following is a key benefit of cloud computing? A. High upfront costs. B. Reduced flexibility. C. Cost efficiency. D. Increased maintenance efforts. Seven. How does cloud computing improve collaboration among teams? A. By providing limited access to files. B. By using local servers. C. By enabling access to shared resources from anywhere. D. By restricting access to data. 8. What benefit does cloud computing provide in terms of disaster recovery? A. No backup options. B. Increased data recovery time. C. Simplified backup and recovery solutions. D. Limited access to data. 9. Which benefit of cloud services is primarily associated with using shared resources? A. Enhanced security. B. Cost savings. C. Increased latency. D. Reduced scalability. 10. What is the role of automation in cloud computing? A. To increase manual processes. B. To streamline resource management and deployment. C. To complicate workflows. D. To restrict access to services. (11) What is the purpose of Azure regions? A. To provide a single point of service. B. To group resources for billing purposes. C. To host data centers geographically distributed. D. To manage identity and access. (12) Which component in Azure is responsible for managing resources? A. Azure Active Directory. B. Azure Resource Manager. C. Azure Storage Account. D. Azure Monitor. (13) What is an availability zone in Azure? A. A region for data storage. B. A grouping of physical data centers within a region. C. A single data center. D. A service for managing virtual machines. (14) What is Azure Resource Group? A. A collection of user identities. B. A logical container for Azure resources. C. A billing category for Azure services. D. A type of virtual network. (15) What is the primary function of Azure Load Balancer? A. To monitor application performance. B. To distribute network traffic across multiple resources. C. To store large amounts of data. D. To manage user identities. (16) Which Azure service allows users to run virtual machines in the cloud? A. Azure App Service. B. Azure Virtual Machines. C. Azure Functions. D. Azure Kubernetes Service. (17) What is the primary function of Azure Functions? A. To run long-term applications. B. To provide serverless compute options. C. To manage user authentication. D. To store large files. (18) Which service is used to create and manage virtual networks in Azure? A. Azure Virtual Network. B. Azure VPN Gateway. C. Azure ExpressRoute. D. Azure Load Balancer. (19) What does Azure App Service provide? A. A platform for hosting web applications and APIs. B. A storage solution for large files. C. A virtual machine management service. D. A database management service. Which Azure service allows for the creation of scalable web applications? A. Azure Functions. B. Azure App Service. C. Azure Virtual Machines. D. Azure Blob Storage. What is Azure Blob Storage primarily used for? A. Storing structured data. B. Storing unstructured data such as images and videos. C. Managing virtual machines. D. Hosting applications. Which storage option is ideal for relational databases in Azure? A. Azure Blob Storage. B. Azure Queue Storage. C. Azure SQL Database. D. Azure Table Storage. What type of storage does Azure Table Storage provide? A. Object storage for large files. B. Key value storage for structured data. C. Relational storage for databases. D. File storage for documents. What does Azure Files offer? A. No SQL database services. B. Fully managed file shares in the cloud. C. Virtual machine hosting. D. Long-term storage solutions. Which Azure storage option is best for archiving data that is infrequently accessed? A. Hot blob storage. B. Cool blob storage. C. Premium blob storage. D. Azure SQL Database. What is the primary function of Azure Active Directory or Azure AD? A. To provide virtual machine management. B. To manage user identities and access permissions. C. To monitor network traffic. D. To store application data. What is the purpose of multi-factor authentication or MFA in Azure? A. To simplify password management. B. To provide an additional layer of security. C. To reduce user authentication requirements. D. To eliminate the need for passwords. What role does Azure Role-Based Access Control or RBAC serve? A. To automate deployment processes. B. To manage billing and subscriptions. C. To control access to Azure resources based on roles. D. To monitor application performance. (29) Which Azure service helps secure applications and protect against threats? A. Azure Monitor. B. Azure Security Center. C. Azure DevOps. D. Azure Advisor. (30) What is the purpose of Azure Policy? A. To automate application deployments. B. To enforce organizational compliance and governance. C. To manage user identities. D. To monitor resource performance. AZ-900 exam. The AZ-900 certification, also known as Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamentals, is designed for individuals looking to demonstrate foundational knowledge of cloud services and how Microsoft Azure operates. It covers core concepts such as cloud computing, Azure services, security, privacy, and pricing models. This entry-level certification is ideal for beginners or professionals seeking to understand Azure before advancing to more specialized certifications. An AZ-900 certification can open doors to a variety of entry-level roles in cloud computing, such as Cloud Administrator, Support Specialist, or Cloud Sales Associate. While it's a foundational certification, it demonstrates knowledge of Azure services and cloud concepts, making it valuable for those starting a career in IT or looking to pivot to cloud-based roles. It also serves as a stepping stone for more advanced Azure certifications and higher-level positions in cloud architecture or administration.